Welcome to Alien Investigations, the show that investigates UFOs, alien phenomenon, and strange news around the world.
So in my past episodes, we talked about UFO sightings and space anomalies, but we haven't discussed any strange news around the world yet. So in this episode, we're going to take that opportunity to discuss just that. There's this story that's been lingering in the back of my mind for a very long time now. Maybe you've heard of it, Flight 914. The basic story goes like this. So this plane took off on a routine flight from New York to Miami. The plane suddenly disappears. Time goes by. So the airliner sends out money to the families of what they call the deceased who maybe crashed into the sea. Now, here's the strange part. 37 years later, September 9th, the plane shows up again over Carga, Venezuela, South America. Talks to the control tower. Lands. And then takes off again and disappears into the clouds. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story again as it was told several times before, and then after the video I'm going to go ahead and reveal to you what I found after doing some deep investigative work to really give you the truth on Flight 914.
September 9th, 1990, Carga, Venezuela, South America. A long Douglas-type aircraft suddenly appeared over Caracas airport. The airport's radar could not find the plane after the pilot called the airport control tower, asking where they were. Control tower, "This is Venezuela. Where did you just come from?" The pilot exclaimed, "God, we are Pan American Airways Flight 914 from New York to Miami, Florida." Control tower, "How did you make such an error of more than 2,000 kilometers?" Then the airport personnel took a look at the airport staff's old diary and logs, and in fact, they did find it. Only it was July 2nd, 1955, that the plane took off, a lapse of 35 years. The surprised airport staff said, "It cannot be that you are who you say you are." According to the other managers, they realized that there was something supernatural when the plane approached the airport, and there was no sign of it on the radar. However, after verification by telex and fax, with New York and Florida, Flight 914 did, in fact, fly on July 2nd, 1955, from New York to Florida, but suddenly went missing. When the pilot was told that the date was May 21st, 1992, he just said, "Oh my God," and started to breathe uncontrollably. Service workers reported seeing passengers' faces pressed against the window. When the ground crew approaches the aircraft, the pilot shouted over the radio, "Stay away, we're leaving now." Eyewitness air traffic controller Juan de la Corte said the pilot had opened the cockpit window and was waving them to move away. He was waving a clipboard. The calendar we later found must have dropped from it. The calendar had the date 1955 on it. Within minutes, the phantom plane took off again and vanished into the clouds. The story still remains a mystery.
So let's have a look here. Here's a list of accidents and incidents involving commercial aircraft. So the plane took off July 2nd, 1955, supposedly as the story says. So let's check out 1955. So in 1955 here, the only reported accident is July 27th. And I don't see anything about a Flight 914. In fact, I looked through several of these different years going backwards and forwards, and I didn't find anything related to a Flight 914. Okay, let's take a look at another site, Aviation Safety Network from 1955, another reporting site that reports accidents. So let's see if we can find anything for July 2nd, 1955. And here I see 2 incidents, 3 incidents here. These are not American Airlines from New York to Florida, Miami, so that's out. That's out of the question. As you can see straight here, there's nothing relating to that. Okay, and the plane supposedly landed in 1990, right, on September the 9th. So let's go down to September 9th here and see if we had any kind of incidents. So I don't see anything here. California, I don't see anything talking about Carga, Venezuela, South America. So if a plane would have landed there, and it would have some kind, it would have been at least an incident report if it landed and took off, but I don't see anything about that. Now, the closest thing to this would be this article here, which was reported in June 28th of 1955, and it just mentions the 50,000th Atlantic crossing with the Pan Am DC-7B Clipper Evening Star, but that's Flight 062. That was on June 28th, 1955. And of course, this big event happened 4 days before the alleged missing of the Pan Am Flight 914. Now let's take a closer look at this here. It says at 10:59 on June 28th, 1939, the Clipper Dixie took off from Port Washington, New York on PAA's first scheduled passenger flight. PAA's first scheduled mail flight flew to Southampton, England 4 days earlier via Shaddock, Newby, Bottlewood, Newfoundland, and it was captained by Black Dude. As the Vice President-elect division, it carried 20 passengers and 2,540 mail. So this really does not mention anything. Now let's zoom in on this area here. It says, with great pride, we greet the readers of the Clipper Travel on the occasion of Pan America's 50,000th transatlantic crossing on June 28, 1955. So that's about it. The article doesn't say anything about anything else. So I did a search on Google also for Pan Am Flight 914, and it takes me to Wikipedia. And of course, Wikipedia, I searched here, and it says Pan Am Flight 914 does not exist. So apparently, Pan Am never even had a flight called 914. As you can see, the closest one that comes up would be 923. So if I click on that, this is in 2016. So as you can see, if you Google list of all Pan American flights from New York to Miami in 1955, this is what comes up. Wikipedia is the #1 source for this, which there's nothing in there that lists any information about that on specific dates. But the mysterious time-lapse event of Pan America Flight 914, aircraft disappeared 1955, same thing. Over and over again, the same story. So as you can see, this story's been a while, for a long time. So where did this story really start from? Where was it created? Well, let's check that out right now. Okay, so here it is, guys. Weekly World News. So this is the original source of Flight 914. And this is a cover from 1999. Let's zoom in here. September 7th, 1999. Check this out. US, $2.25. Canada, $2.75. So when is the last time that you spent $2.25 for a magazine, right? I guess 1999. Leave me some comments below, guys, on what you think about this. Because the typical magazine these days are what, $6 to $8? I remember even spending up to 12 to 14 on some of them, depending on how much content was in them. And you know what? I do remember seeing this Bat Boy. I remember this magazine back then in that year. I do. I remember seeing it right there in the grocery store, right there by the checkout counter. In fact, you could still find mags like this by the checkout counter today. So let me give you a little backstory. So basically, they're a fictitious news tabloid. They were published in the United States from 1979 to 2007. Of course, they were renowned for its outlandish cover stories, often based on supernatural or paranormal themes and satirical approach to news. So it originally was a spin-off from the National Enquirer, pretty much. So this was a way of separating the spoof UFOs and Bigfoot articles from the Hollywood gossip columns, right? Since the Weekly World News began to publish online, its stories have occasionally been treated as legitimate news stories by readers that were unaware of the nature of the publication. Weekly World News ceased their print publication in August of 2007. But it was then published as an insert within the Sun magazine, with new material being printed alongside articles and columns from older issues, until the Sun itself ceased publication in 2012. So in 2009, Weekly World News was relaunched as an online-only publication. So let's take a look at the original articles in the magazine that they had published. So the story about 914, they released it 3 times. So let's take a look at that. So the first one here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. So let's go ahead and look at this. So this is the first one here. And there were 3, like I said. The first one was on May 7th, 1985. Then again, right here, of May of 1993. And then one more time over here in September the 7th, 1999. Now, let's look at a few things here. This story has been, I don't know, I guess kind of changed up a bit. Not really the story itself, but the actual date. I've seen stories that claimed what it says here in 1992, that it landed. I've also seen stories of saying it's 1990. So there's 2009 even I've seen. So, you know, there's different dates of the landing of this thing. But this was the original source of it. Check this out. So the first story says that it landed in Caracas in 1985. Okay? So they do the story again of the year 1993. So they put 1992 in here, right? And then here again in 1997, they use the same year, 1992. That's funny. But check this out. This is really funny. Let me zoom in on this guy here. So this is apparently, okay, this is the May 1993 release. Apparently this guy here was an eyewitness at air traffic controller. Okay, Juan D. Licorti. Okay, look, check Juan out. Make sure you look at him good now, okay? Because let's take a look at the next issue of this airing in 1999. Okay, so, okay, oh, there he is. Look. So, this is also Juan D. Licorti. I think I'm saying that right. Look at him. Okay, so this is a few years later, right? About 6 years, 93 to 99. Okay, so it looks like Juan over here. Let's look at these side by side. Looks like Juan may have had some plastic surgery done or something within that 6 years time. And it looked like he got a little skinnier too. Okay, so that's a little funny moment there. Let's take a look at some other things that's kind of funny. Now, we all know that this is a fictitious magazine and they write fake stories, right? Fake news, basically. So, but it's funny. It's funny to read some of these articles that they have. Remember now, in 2009, Weekly World News was relaunched as an online-only publication. So, are they still around today? You bet. In fact, let's take a look at the website now. So this is what they look like right now. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. You can see copyright 2017, Bat Boy LLC. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, there's a cool feature here. I have this little add-in, Alexia add-in on my web browser here. It tells me what they rank, how different traffics rank, how much sites are linking in and all this. And it's also this Wayback Machine button here. Of course, you can just go to Wayback Machine and check it out. And what this is you can check out to see what websites look like when they first started. So that's something kind of cool. So for instance, if you go back to YouTube here, when YouTube was created in February 14, 2005, if we go back here, so let's go ahead and take a look in May, since it doesn't show in February here, there's no marks. I'll go ahead and click this one. It's May 7th, so let's see what YouTube looked like back then. Oh, Jesus, this is taking a long time to load. Nothing like today, right? I mean, look at this. This is like, what the hell is this? Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. That's pretty amusing. But not as much as amusing as Wayback Machine for Weekly World News. So let's go back to 2004. You can see all these little lines. It shows how much traffic they had. I went to a few of these tabs. 1999, it didn't show me anything. It was didn't show me much. You can check this out yourself. Just go to waybackmachine.com and then you can type in what you want here. So what I want to show, I'm just gonna go to let's just go to September here, September 2nd. Let's see what it looked like. Okay, so that's a lot different than what they look like now, right? So let's check one of these tabs out here. Alien and UFO reports. Let's check this out. How to tell if your prostitute is an extraterrestrial. Aliens claim Jacko is their son. Aliens using email to seduce Earth women. Oh my goodness. So this stuff is funny. If you want to laugh, go check this stuff out, people. Oh man. Ooh, I gotta get off of here. Oh yeah, before I forget, there was one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Remember in the story when it's talking about the captain was waving his clipboard out of the cockpit window and a calendar had fell on the ground, and this guy who just got plastic surgery, he found the calendar, okay? So I'm thinking that calendar may have looked like this, guys. What do you think? You think this was the calendar that the captain was holding? 1955 calendar? I think this could have been it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Let me know if you think this was the calendar that captain was holding. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button because there's more great stuff to come. Also, you can find our contact info in the description below, so don't be shy and send us your own personal UFO or alien-related sightings that you'd like us to share with others on the show.
Thanks for watching Alien Investigations. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe because there is more great stuff to come.
And always remember, guys, to have your phones and cameras ready because you never know when you'll see something strange or unexplainable. I'll see you right back here every Wednesday with fresh new episodes of Alien Investigations. Hey, brother, watch another!